Hey everyone, welcome back to UI Spy, the series where I analyze the UI of video games. A new Nintendo console is here, and you know what that means? A new Mario Kart. It's been 11 years since the last mainline entry released back on the Wii U. In that time, I graduated high school and college, been in a relationship, and got over 2,000 subs. Who knows what will happen between now and the next Mario Kart game? So what are we waiting for? Let's fire it up and check out the sick new title screen. Damn, this music track slaps! This is insane! They even brought back Mario's greeting, which hasn't been seen since Mario Kart 64, albeit not as exciting.
Mario Kart World! Welcome to Mario Kart!
Mario Kart World is the first time in the series where full-screen gameplay is used for the background of the title screen, instead of just a static image. And no, I don't count footage which plays when the title screen is left idle after a while. The logo is outstanding too. Implementing the globe vector behind the text was a genius design choice. Not only does this differentiate World from previous Mario Karts, but it's a return to the highly stylized logos from the earliest entries. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's logo, the dual-tone pink and green of the Deluxe was a step in the right direction, but it didn't have enough pizzazz, especially with the overly sleek look of the thick black outline and white text. Now, the fill area of the text has red sand hills with a light blue sky, representing the main course of the game, Mario Bros. Circuit. Why was this the first course we saw in the Switch 2 reveal and the April 2025 Direct? Because Mario Bros. Circuit symbolizes World's pendulum shift of the entire series. We're out of the semi-realistic racing sport era and into the playful road trip era. The text is also tilted to the right, indicating that it's in motion, compared to the flat logos of the past. Each of the letters in the World subtitle is a different color, which is a design staple for dozens of iconic Mario titles. I'll admit though, there's something off about the press L and R to start prompt on the bottom of the screen. It works, but it's a bit too plain for my liking. It doesn't really motivate me to start the game. Compare this to the Ready to Fight in Smash Ultimate's Character Select, with the flow of the lightning and dynamic angle of the text. But with that aside, let's head into the main menu. The options are identical to those of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe: single player, multiplayer, online play, and wireless play. Unfortunately, LAN play still requires a button combination to access like in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Although it's less utilized compared to the standard multiplayer and online, this bogs down the in-person tournament experience. LAN tourneys for Mario Kart are no joke and should be taken seriously. Even Nintendo's had their own, so there's no excuse. The icons next to each option are larger this time around and feature a nice blue-red color scheme. They're all shaped like different road signs. A highway sign for the single player, which perfectly represents the open world nature of free roam, a route sign for multiplayer, a diamond for online play, and a circle for wireless play. The iconography clearly represents what each mode entails, compared to Mario Kart 8 reusing toad icons. A single mushroom for single player, 4 of them for multiplayer arranged as they were in the 200cc banner of Mario Kart 8, a globe with eyes for online, and 2 Switch 2s for wireless play. The title screen background seamlessly transitions into free roam when you press plus. No loading screens required. And if you leave free roam and go back to the main menu, it picks up back where you left off, with the last used character and location. While I appreciate the seamlessness, it would have been nice if it was a core option, especially if you want your friends to join you. There's also a button to access your stickers, which you unlock after completing certain milestones while playing, like in Splatoon 3. Although the Switch 2 doesn't have any built-in achievements into the console itself, it's these systems that motivate millions of players. Being able to choose one to add to your cart and profile banner is fantastic, displaying your achievement. It's this, yo, how did you get that feeling, essential for any online game with profile unlockables. But these stickers are the only means of tracking your in-game stats. Gone is the stats menu from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I agree with Reese here in his video. It's a bummer to not know the exact amount of coins I've gotten and what my most played track is. With that, let's look at the single player modes. They're nearly identical to Mario Kart 8, with the addition of Knockout Tour. As with other menus I've talked about in the past, the core modes are the largest in the list, with the less played modes being smaller. The iconography continues here, with an appropriately fitting symbol next to the mode's name. When hovering over an option, the side panel changes with different renders from the key art. Mario characters have never looked this expressive, so these are exciting to see. Koopa looks like he's about to get demolished. But for now, let's take the Grand Prix and pick our racer.
I waited 11 years for this?
I waited 8.
This character select is unacceptable. I mean, there are portraits featuring body shots of every character and costume of the game instead of head icons. Oh wait, I'm sorry, costume? That's right, characters can unlock unique outfits by eating food bags on the courses. And every costume has their own dedicated slot, instead of being a submenu or toggle like in most games with alternate skins. As you unlock more costumes and racers while playing, this conundrum only amplifies, with more pages added to the bottom of the screen. The sort toggle isn't even a proper sorting feature. It just groups characters and each of their costumes together. I expected actual options, like sort by name or sort by weight class, sort by costume. Anything other than this hot mess. And as with the Switch era Mario sports games, it's only a matter of time until they get added as DLC. And if they get costumes too, oh boy, this menu is gonna get worse by the end of this game's lifespan. Thank God you can cycle through the pages using the L and R buttons. Don't get me wrong, the expressive character model for your selected racer is fantastic, giving them more personality than just sitting in a cart. The banner which displays the character name has tire marks on the edges, and the larger character portraits are easier to see for younger players who may have a harder time finding their preferred racer. But a menu like Deiji Zaruda on Reddit made would be an easier adjustment for people transitioning from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Once again, Nintendo fans do what Nintendo don't. But hey, at least the background is nice. It's a robot with a bunch of fake companies advertised on there, like Stingbee Biofuel and Shine Sprite Oil. Once we select our character, we'll have to pick our carts next. Gone is the customization slot wheel introduced in Mario Kart 7. I love customization in games, and this system was a cool gimmick when I first used it. But after hundreds of hours of using the same combo, this became a hassle to do every time, especially for playing with other people who don't know which combo works for them. This streamlines the cart selection process, where you just find the cart you want, select it, and go, instead of having a cycle between different frames, wheels, and gliders. Okay, I'll go with this cart. Now which cup are we going to tackle? Let's view the map and find out. Mario Kart World's racetracks are all interconnected in one large map. As a result, selecting the different cup you want to race on moves the cursor to a different place on screen. After years of fans speculating of seeing certain tracks connect to each other, like Baby Part and Double Dash, it's wonderful seeing this be the focus of a mainline Mario Kart game. All 7 cup icons are nicely laid out on one row at the bottom of the screen, framing the map as the main focus to look at. Each cup icon has a piece of terrain behind the symbol, such as Red Desert behind the Mushroom Cup and Waves behind the Shell Cup. These beautiful patterns strengthen each cup's identity as part of this grander map, being more than just a set of 4 tracks. Alright, it's off to the races. I really want to thank the development team for streamlining the menu experience. According to the Ask the Developer interview on Mario Kart World, Kosuke Ibuki, the game's producer, wanted to get people into races as quickly as possible without overcomplicating the selection process. And outside of that travesty of a character select, the menus flow perfectly. And wow, this is how I imagined a new Mario Kart UI to look 11 years later. Familiar, but bold and stylish enough to feel fresh. For the first time since Mario Kart Super Circuit, the font used for your position is not the iconic Super Mario font. Instead, there's a slightly thinner, more angled font, with indents on the lettering like you'd find on old wooden boards. Gone is the iconic Shingo or Newer Dawn font used since the GameCube era of Nintendo games. Now we have a font that's less neutral than the smooth edges of Shingo, being thicker and more angled. The choice to create an entirely new, stylized font is part of Nintendo's goal to be more wacky with the Switch 2 games, compared to some Switch 1 games being sterile. Mario Kart World's font is also used for the clock in time trials. I miss the electronic fonts used in Mario Kart 8. Being used in appliances like microwaves and alarm clocks, your mind associates this font with the pressure of being timed, feeling on edge. Reusing the same font bends the clock with other HUD elements, demotivating me to go after the time trials. Also with the HUD text, triangles in the panels for the laps and coins create this gravel texture, adding on to the more grounded design. The iconic countdown text gets drawn in as each number appears on screen, instead of just a slide down animation. This is super exciting, hyping players up as this race will be big. It feels bombastic, like when a race is being counted down in the Mario Kart arcade games. As with the character animations, the aesthetic of the HUD goes for a more cartoony design. Why? Going back to the Ask a Developer interview, the team wanted to, quote, recapture that feeling from Super Mario Kart, with the developer bringing up playfulness as the core concept of how the world should feel. It's this playfulness which bleeds into the graphic design, with a higher saturation, neon-colored gradients, and more fluid animations. The text displaying your position breaks the traditional bronze, silver, and gold depicted in traditional sports. Instead, the position text utilizes more striking, dual-tone colors. Mint green and orange for third, blue and salmon for second, and yellow and pink for first. Item box icons have more visual flair compared to previous Mario Kart games. They have distinct curved highlights on the top and bottom, instead of just a flat empty box. Small triangles float around the inside too, and the items you're holding hop up and down. These subtle animations make item boxes more noticeable, encouraging players to utilize them during races. It's not just how well you race in Mario Kart, but how you strategize your item usage as well. When using items with the cooldown meter, such as the golden mushroom, the fill area is a light pink. It's more noticeable compared to the tinted gray of Mario Kart 8. The cooldown is a nice sloshing animation as it moves down, like liquid moving in a water bottle. For dramatic item effects, such as when a player uses lightning, bomb, or blue shell, the onomatopoeia pops on screen with big, bold, comic book style text. With how chaotic 24-player races can get, especially online, these visual cues help you keep track of everything that's going on. Now, how does the UI hold up in online play? For the most part, it's pretty smooth, but there are glaring issues. In Knockout Tour, when you get knocked out early, you can only spectate the person in first place. Huh? Mario Kart 8 allowed you to swap the camera view to all the racers back in 2014. We have how many buttons at the minimum, and nearly all of them are used to open the pause menu, with one just being used for sending a message. The whole point of spectating is to see how the entire race is going, flipping back and forth, like what a real TV crew would do during an F1 or NASCAR race. So what's the point of even spectating then? There's also no way to prevent intermissions from being selected. I understand these are integral to the Mario Kart World experience, but what if you want to play the game the traditional way? Nintendo says, nope, you have to play it our way or the highway. And you can't even pick random because course intermissions are part of the random selection. And lastly, most of the messages from 8 Deluxe return, except the infamous I'm using tilt controls. There are even new ones too, where you can cheer on the first place racer in Knockout Tour. But sadly, it's the true end of the meme era from Nintendo's Wii U days. To wrap things up, let's look at the selling point of World, Free Roam. Here, you're able to drive all across the map, even between all the courses. The minimap on the bottom right of the screen displays a nice top-down view. This 3D perspective helps you find secrets which may be blocked by the world's geometry. I'm glad a 3D view is chosen. It helps navigating much easier than the flat maps in other open world games. You can easily fast travel to all the different courses, with a nice loading screen in between. The loading screens are simple but fun, playing a different animation depending on the item which was randomly picked. It's refreshing to see faster load times on the Switch 2, as certain Switch 1 games were infamous for long loading screens. But sadly, there's no banner indicating which background song is playing. Seriously? Mario Kart World soundtrack is a celebration of over 40 years of Mario legacy, representing not just Mario Kart, but Donkey Kong Country, Mario Maker, Galaxy 2, my beloved, and you have to figure out which tracks these are for yourself. The top right corner of the screen is unused, which would have been the perfect spot for a banner to slide in and out, like in Smash Bros. There's not even a jukebox mode to view the entire soundtrack at once. Granted, it wasn't implemented in 8 Deluxe until the end of its life cycle, but by that logic, shouldn't it be in the base game already? Like a DLC character becoming part of a base roster for the next entry in a fighting game? There was so much potential to introduce a new generation of players to Mario's extensive history and music all wasted. What's worse is if you're playing free roam with friends and don't want to do any races together, there's a large "please wait until the rules have been decided" banner at the bottom of the screen. Why is Nintendo treating free roam as the online lobby for multiplayer when it's advertised as a core mode for the game? There should have been an option to just play free roam with friends exclusively. Finally, the worst part about free roam's UI is the collectibles. Outside of the question mark panels, there are no trackers of how many P-switches and Peach medallions there are on the map. Not even clues for where the nearest ones are, like the hint toads in Super Mario Odyssey. And you may be thinking, what's the reward for finding all the question mark panels? Nothing. The one collectible which encourages you to find them all with a clear indicator gets you no reward for finding all of them. This would have been the perfect opportunity for you to drive on Rainbow Road in free roam, but nope, this also applies for the Peach switches and Peach medallions too. But on the bright side, these collectibles are a fun challenge to hunt down, especially with friends. The Peach switches are a fun return to the mission mode in Mario Kart DS, albeit with less variety in the mission objectives. It's a microcosm of World's greatest flaw, being a giant step forward and backward for the series at the same time. Overall, Mario Kart World UI is a double-edged sword. The art of the UI itself, especially the more fluid animations and colorful iconography, are mind-blowing. It brings back that childlike wonder from the Wii era, reminding me why I love Mario games. But the UX is a bit of a downgrade, with many quality of life features from 8 Deluxe being removed on top of some new issues. For anything to have great menu design, you need its UI and UX to work harmoniously, like Mario and Luigi or Peanut Butter and Jelly. But Mario Kart World is like pineapple on pizza. The sauce, cheese, and dough are the highest quality we've ever tasted. But the sweetness of the pineapple clashes with the sauce too much, and the basic spices are gone too. Hopefully with patches added in the future, Mario Kart World can glide to greater heights. But what do you think of Mario Kart World? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share this video, and subscribe for more Switch 2 and Game UI content. Thank you to all the channel members for supporting me, and remember, your life is your own.
Objection!